Oh, hi. Hello.
What a day. What a day. God, guys, we have had so many people on Instagram using the hashtag. I've been trying to share all the unique posts. Like if you guys are resharing mine, I obviously don't reshare you resharing mine because that's
Mm,
weird. But when you guys create unique posts, I've been sharing them today. If you're new here, welcome. This is not our normal content. And to be perfectly honest, as much as I am excited about today, I'm sick of talking about it, and we shouldn't have to talk about it
yeah,
this
and
much.
after this stream, we probably won't talk about it a lot more unless something big happens.
Right. We want to keep being the source of education for you guys. We want to keep helping you guys, and especially with the holidays right around the corner.
Yes, and a source of positivity. We want to be able to support you guys without you guys being paranoid,
yeah.
thinking that Etsy is in the crapper, because that's not completely not what this is.
Right, but at the same time, nobody's acknowledging this. Nobody.
Yeah, somebody with a bigger voice needed to acknowledge it. And we're not huge, but you guys as a collective are.
Right. We've had a couple people say, oh, I'm just one person. I'm just one person. But collectively, we're getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are sharing the hashtag and tagging Etsy. Sharing the hashtag is great. Tag Etsy. And if you guys want to really help, go to my Instagram or my TikTok or this video. Not this video, but the Instagram reel that I posted today. The TikTok that I shared. I have one on LinkedIn. That's a great place because that's all Etsy staff over there. Tag Etsy on my post too. That way they're getting, whoever's working their social media is getting all of these tags. Let's back up a little bit and talk about the purpose of this, assuming that you weren't here last week. Etsy has changed so much over the last few years. And some of the changes have been good. Some of the changes have been natural. For example, we have had a lot of people voice their concerns with print-on-demand businesses. And
Hi, Pam.
Hi, Pam. I personally don't have an issue with print-on-demand for several reasons. When you go to, an artist expo where there's a fantastic artist who creates beautiful paintings, that artist does not paint every piece for you. You can't go get yourself an original Picasso. But what you can do is get that Picasso printed on a canvas or a product. And that to me is okay. And that's a great use of print on demand. But what I don't like to see, and what I know that drives you guys crazy as well, is, 6,000, listings generated with AI where the person has no care as to what they're creating. And there are some of you who do AI and you do brilliant work where you actually, manipulate the photos and create something really cool and original and unique.
Your leg off the table.
Sorry. But the point being is that Etsy has gone in a direction where it's no longer a showcase of handmade products. Even Etsy no longer says handmade anymore. They say unique. There are so many resellers and drop shippers, and I'm not counting POD when I say drop shippers. I'm talking about people who list something from Alibaba, say that it's handmade, and then you end up getting an item that was shipped directly from a Chinese distributor in your mailbox as an Etsy customer. We have no support. Yeah, there is an email where you can contact someone. You very seldom get a good answer for questions that matter most. For example, why the heck did my shop get deactivated? That's a common question I hear. Etsy will say, well, we don't know. Why is my account on payment reserve when I do not qualify for any of the things that Etsy says qualify you for a payment reserve? Why am I not getting paid? For example, I'm a digital seller. I'm not getting paid. I've been selling on Etsy for 12 years and have never had an issue. Why am I not getting paid? There's so much going on, and I've had so many emails this week. I actually broke down in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community yesterday, and I'm sorry that you guys heard my boohoo rant because I had a typo in my post, and nobody was paying attention to the post. They were just pointing out the typo, and I'm like, oh, I can't. With that, in mind, we had to say something. We had to be the ones to finally say something. And, of course, we get people who are, commenting on the movement saying that, oh, this isn't going to do anything. Talking on social media isn't going to do anything. The objective isn't just to get Etsy's attention. The objective is to get the attention of somebody important.
Who has a big voice.
Major news and media, for example. That is a great objective. We have been already contacted by 3 different journalists, and I personally reached out to the BBC. I've had several articles written about the movement. I've got, I'm communicating with another gal who's apparently doing an article today. It's been phenomenal. We just need the right voices to hear. And the louder we are and the more that we amplify ourselves together, the more likely it is that we will be heard by someone who is going to amplify this message even further using their hopefully larger audience and voice. And one thing that we all know about Etsy is that when they're in the news, they act. If they're seen, negatively at all in the news, they do something about it. I also had, a YouTuber, I kind of, apologies to the YouTuber. I was really upset when I saw it, but I had a YouTuber cover the story and they were saying, this isn't going to do anything. Here's all the reasons why. Here's how you should be doing it. You guys got to consider that at least I'm doing it. I might not be doing it perfectly. I might not be doing, everything. I might not be, but I'm doing it. And anybody who says, well, you should be doing it different, I want you to do it. If I should be doing it different, you do it, because we're all out here for the same goal. We all want the same thing, which is for Etsy to treat us with respect and pay us and provide support to us and answer our questions so that we know if we've done something wrong, we can fix it. Not just deactivating accounts without giving any notice or reason why. Not just deactivating listings under, incorrect context, like being deactivated for using the word jewelry when Etsy clearly states that it, amber jewelry, chipped beads at 8 millimeters or something. They blanket that and disable all listings that utilize the word amber, even in reference to names and colors. They're disabling listings like jewelry for drug paraphernalia. It is a rampant AI system that Josh Silverman announced during the 2023 Q1 report. We can all go watch this video where he says, with the help of AI and ML technology, AI and machine learning, we are working on a system to take down listings more quickly and accurately. Well, it's happening quickly, but it's not happening accurately. And the listings that need to be removed, I mean, maybe some are, maybe there are some getting removed, but I know that I certainly am not finding anything I'm looking for on Etsy anymore. I can't find them. And today, I just had somebody comment on the video that I posted today. The reel, it's a reel, it's a YouTube short you guys can share. It's on TikTok. And I went ahead and shared it on my Instagram. The person's banned, by the way. They can't, comment now. But they said, I've been an Etsy drop shipper for 3 months. I will sell your products at 40% lower prices, offer faster shipping. You can't compete with me. Find another platform to sell on, old bags. These are the type of people. This is the mindset of the drop shippers who don't belong on this platform, who go
and you
against...
don't belong on this platform. I know there's a few of you here. You don't. This is not the platform for drop shipping. And if Etsy were enforcing its rules like it's supposed to be, then you wouldn't be here.
Right. And we're not talking about print on demand again.
No. Print on demand and drop shipping are 2 different things.
We're talking about going and buying, for example, our cat tree that we purchased thinking that we were supporting a handmade artist, and we got a box.
Came from a warehouse in Industry, California that is a drop shipper warehouse.
From China, right?
From China, yep.
Because
it's nice. It's an actually nice piece of furniture from China, but it's from China either way.
Our point, but we wanted a handmade product. We wanted to support a handmade business. It's just so frustrating, guys. And I know that you guys are you're probably sick of hearing me talk about it.
Someone said old bags. Yeah, I was confused by that comment too. She's 31. I'm 32. Most of you, or not most of you, a lot of you have kids that are older than us.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's whatever. I feel old.
Yeah.
Also, for people saying, we're not doing this the right way, then either join the movement and push it your way or make your own. We're not doing this for clout. We get nothing out of this. There's more risk in us doing this than there is benefit.
That's true. That's true. Here's the thing. My mental health has been bad this week because while there are more people supporting the movement than...
Yeah, you guys don't see the bad stuff.
Right. And I shared one of the bad comments today, but I've had to block a lot of the bad stuff out because there are people who want to continue doing things that they are not supposed to be doing. And they're mad at me for being the one person to, stand up for it. And that's fine. I expected it. But I'm not trying to monopolize this movement. If the folks from the Indie Sellers, I can't remember, the Indie Sellers Guide, Indie Seller. Anyway, I would have loved to have collaborated with you guys. I know you reached out to me via email, but there just wasn't enough time. There just wasn't enough time for me to be able to, and I want to represent my own movement. And I think that that's important, that everybody should be able to create their own movements. And I understand that, strength in numbers, but really what I wanted today to be was to bring awareness and to your shoppers as well. For all of you who are posting and letting your shoppers know, like, things on Etsy are kind of bad right now. And we really need the support of our shoppers to also voice their concerns because they're clearly not finding what they're looking for when they're shopping online. I know that when I'm shopping on Etsy, I am not finding handmade products the way that I used to. I am not getting support as a customer the way that I used to. And this could all be solved by Etsy hiring more people with the money that they have been taking from us. They increased their fees and they said that they were hiring more staff. But what they've given us instead is an AI system that doesn't work. It doesn't work. And it's so frustrating. And I'm balancing on the edge of this blade where it's like, on one side, I would need to be an Etsy coach and I need to teach and I need to inspire and I need to get you guys ready for the holidays, which, after today's video, that's it. We're going back to learning. Okay. This is the last you're going to hear about it, but I need your help today. And then we can stop talking about it. I'm balancing on this blade where I want to teach. I want to get you guys ready for the holidays. I want to, there's stuff I want to work on. I want to help you. And then there's a side of me that really freaking hates Etsy right now, but I'm standing with them because I do love Etsy. I love them. I hate the choices that they're making.
They're a gateway to success that gets you out of the normal 9 to 5. It got us out of the normal 9 to 5 and we moved on to teaching, but we have a lot of people who have literally built their lives around this. And it's being threatened. And I don't care for that.
I'm getting emails in bulk from you guys, saying, "Oh, I quit selling on Etsy months ago," or "I had to go get a job." I'm so buried under mass-produced items. I sell coffee tables, and now all my competitors are just drop shipping coffee tables and selling them for way cheaper. And I just read that comment to you guys from somebody who does that, and I didn't blur their name because I don't care. To be perfectly honest, if you're gonna play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
You're allowed to announce people who publicly say something to you.
Oh yeah,
that's not.
No, I didn't blur their name out. They were rude.
Yeah. And again, we had a lot of people arguing about AI and PID. This is not anti-POD. She has literally a POD shop in production at the moment. This is not an anti-AI as long as what you're doing is ethically sourced. Especially, Autoville said they put a lot of effort and use custom settings for their prompts. There are ways. You can't guarantee using somebody else's AI tool that you're getting something ethically sourced, but you can build your own. And it's not really that hard. Tons of YouTube videos on how to do it yourself. We don't want people to think that we're attacking this. POD isn't going anywhere. I think POD has a place, and I know some people don't agree that it's art. However, the designs they're putting on it are, and they are hand drawn or handmade or whatever they've done to accomplish it. And saying AI isn't art is ignorant because there is a process to it. Not all AI is art. Some people literally just go put in a prompt, slap it in, and stick it on a t-shirt. We're against that. We really are. But what you guys should be doing is not arguing about what does and doesn't belong on the platform. That's its own can of beans. What we need to do is make sure that Etsy's support is where it needs to be to help people who are legitimate, because there's always going to be crappy people. There's always going to be people that are doing the wrong thing, no matter where you're at, no matter what platform you're on. There's people that are going to be doing the wrong thing, and the platform technically isn't responsible to uphold that. We just saw that the Supreme Court literally just ruled that the website, as long as they're doing their due diligence, is not responsible for what users post on their website. It's up to copyright holders to get rid of things like copyright material. So we can't expect Etsy to do that because it's technically not their job. However, giving support to those and helping prioritize people who are selling legitimate content is their job. Their job is to keep their shareholders happy, and how they keep their shareholders happy is keeping their sellers happy. So they're making good products and they're making what they're supposed to, and they're following the rules as best they possibly can. Stuff happens. You step on toes from time to time. You might make something that represents something that you didn't know, but that's very few and far between. But it is Etsy's job to make sure that those are the sellers that are being prioritized, especially in a support platform. And it's as simple when it comes to especially these shops that are just getting shut down. Give a reason.
Absolutely.
Give a reason. If you're not afraid that people are going to sue you, which is probably why you're not, Etsy,
And
you're afraid that people are going to be given a reason, and it's not going to be true. It's going to be a fake freaking reason. And they're going to come after you and they're going to sue you, because if you shut a shop down for doing something that they didn't do, they're capable of suing you. Well, they were up until the arbitration clause that they put in their crap. You can't now.
Well, they probably don't even, you guys probably didn't even hear about the arbitration clause on Wednesday. Basically, Etsy had an email address. Did you hear about this? Because I didn't until the day of. Etsy has an arbitration clause now. It's too late to opt out of it, but basically you had to email them to opt yourself out, basically stating that you can't sue them.
I mean, you can, but it has to be in small claims court. You cannot take it any higher than small claims court, unless you opted out.
Unless you opted out. Did you guys opt out?
So anything like a class action lawsuit, if you didn't opt out of that, you can't be a part of a class action lawsuit against them anymore.
Yeah.
Which I had no intentions of starting anything like that. That's, again, not the movement
I didn't hear about
pushing to. Well, they sent emails out, I believe.
I didn't get one. I heard from somebody else. Yeah, and it's in their terms of use now. If you guys want to look at the article, I've got the link for it.
Yeah, you can just Google Etsy arbitration clause and it'll pop up. It's in there. You cannot do anything other than take them to small claims court, and good luck.
I'll pop it in. I'll pop it into the chat real quick.
I do think that is why they don't tell people. I think they don't want to be liable for what their customer support staff, who barely know anything about the Etsy platform, are doing, which is understandable when you have a platform with literally millions and millions of people selling. It's impossible to keep everyone happy.
There you go.
What happens if you opt out? Will they limit your algorithms? I don't think that they can retaliate like that, so I would doubt it.
But you can't opt out because it was Wednesday you had to opt out by.
Yeah, it's too late to opt out now. You can't opt out of it.
But the link is up there. You'll have to scroll up, look for my name. It's highlighted in yellow. Somebody had said something.
The email address was like optout@etsy.com or something like that.
Can Starla and Mark switch sides? I know. I'm spooky.
No, this has nothing to do with her. That's for something else that's off screen, and I can't bring it on screen. It's too scary.
It's too spooky.
It's too spooky.
Oh, God. Okay.
But we are wearing these in celebration of Starbucks pumpkin spice season. Starbucks didn't see its shadow, so it is officially fall, and we have pumpkin spice now.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's how that works.
That's how it works.
The mermaid comes out of the ocean, and it looks, and if it sees its shadow, it goes back, and then we have 2 more weeks until we check again.
Yeah. Awesome. Good job. You dropped it.
I have more.
I didn't get an email, never got an email. Yeah. I didn't get one either.
Bubber's question mark?
Is he the scary
He exists.
thing? So, guys, what I think would be rad right now, is if during this live stream, if you haven't made your posts yet, right now would be a really great time to do it. We've had a couple people that have asked, like, how can I participate? You can steal my images. Let me just be clear. Any of the images that I've posted, I've got images on my Instagram. I've got this one of the crappy comment from the guy. Feel free to share that. I've got,
also, pro tip for you guys that while she's looking for what she's looking for, if you get the pumpkin spice lattes, if you really are a fan of those, ask for them half sweet. the coffee coming up a little bit above the pumpkin because they put 4 pumps of vanilla in those things. It's too much. Get half sweet, and it actually tastes better if you like coffee.
So on my Instagram feed, the very first pinned image, just go to Handmade Alphas, no spaces. That's my Instagram. The very first image is this hashtag Keep Etsy Human.
I can't see anything on your screen.
Yeah. Well, there, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, at an angle.
You guys are free to screenshot this and take it. And, you know, you can use my copy. You can reshare anything that I post. I do not care if you guys take it. I want you to take my wording, take my images, do whatever you need to do for this movement, but we need to be loud. So I'm encouraging you all to get on all social media platforms that you're a part of. Go into where I posted that video this morning. I've got a fantastic reel. It says use hashtag Etsy, or use hashtag Keep Etsy Human. And this reel I created last night, it's got, you know, basically our message to Etsy. And we had several alphas get involved and, you know, submit their voices of them all saying the word change together. You guys can tag Etsy right on this just by typing at Etsy, tag them in the comments, or reshare it. You guys can even screen record it. I don't care. I used my own music on it, so you guys shouldn't have any copyright issues utilizing it. Feel free. Share it everywhere. Make your own videos. If you want to make sure that your posts match your branding, go into Canva and create something real quick. What I'm seeing a lot of is people using the hashtag to like advertise their products. Y'all, that's kind of
And there's nothing that we can do about that, but it does make you look like a POS. So
yeah, maybe
don't advertise your products.
Yeah, maybe
sticking one in there is fine, but don't make it like it's an ad to sell, because it's, for one, not going to do anything for you, and if anything, it might get you attacked.
Yeah, it's not the point of the movement. Remember, we're being respectful towards Etsy. We're not, you know, yelling at Etsy. We're not being mean to Etsy. We are respectfully asking them to please.
We're trying to support them is what we're doing.
Exactly.
We love this platform. I don't want to have to move away from it. We've built this audience of over 60,000 people now, almost 63,000.
And I mean, we've got E-Rank as well. We're managers over at E-Rank. Dear God, I cannot tell you how many people in the exit survey, you know, if they quit their E-Rank, we have so many people who say, I didn't want to quit, but I had to because my Etsy shop got shut down. It's just, I don't like feeling unsafe. And I know that you guys are feeling unsafe. It's like you don't even have to do anything wrong for your shop to either have listings deactivated under, you know, things that you're not even doing wrong, or to have your shop potentially deactivated. The main push at this point, and what I want most from Etsy, is customer support. I want human customer support, not AI, not swipe files, you know, not
just simple things to request. Simple things like knowing why my shop got shut down, knowing why a product got removed. Like,
you can't fix
in
mistakes.
No other place in life is it acceptable to take something away, take an ability away from someone, take a product away from their ability to sell, and say, we're not going to tell you why. In most real life circumstances, when you're not facing $1 billion company, you would be sued for doing something like that. Etsy's too big to take on. They're a public company. Most of you don't have the money to do it. Even as a class action lawsuit, us as a collective,
we can't even do it now.
Wouldn't even be able to do anything about it. Now we legally can't do anything about it.
And do you think it's a coincidence that Etsy pushed that, you know, that arbitration clause right now? Because I find it to be a little odd that they chose, you know, Wednesday to, I think that they notified everybody. I think the article was written like a month ago, but
yeah. Also, and about most people said that they didn't get an email. Somebody said someone to phone. I don't think that's a reasonable ask, to be honest with you. I shared my opinions about that last week. I think there's too many people to ask there to be phone support. I mean, you're asking for support for millions of people. They don't have the money to hire that many people, even at the level that they're at. I think that's an unreasonable ask. I think it would be reasonable to ask if there were a paid additional service for customer support. And I know that sounds crappy, but when you're talking about a company that's going to have to pay somebody like $20, $25 an hour, that's a ridiculous amount of money. And then you look at the fact that they would have to hire like more people than their company already is in size. There's no way. There's no feasible way that they could afford doing that.
I'd be down for, because a lot of the services that I use, like everybody gets like email and chat support, you know, and it might take a while to get a response, but at least you get a response. Everybody gets that. But then if you want phone support, you've got to be on like one of their like paid plans and you get other perks. Etsy Plus, a lot of us pay for Etsy Plus, you know, so you can have the carousel banner and all that. I'd be cool with paying a little bit of money to have phone support added to my plan. I would be down to pay extra to have phone support added. And as long as there's also an option to reach by email and chat and actually get a real response from a person and not just some weird AI generated mumbo jumbo. Because in my most recent, you know, email debacle with Etsy, it was for a hoodie. Amber Marie works in, you know, we work on an Etsy shop together. And because people know me and Amber, the word Amber was in our tags, Amber Marie. People actually search for us by name. And the hoodie got deactivated under Amber Jewelry. And I emailed them and I said, you know, hey, just a heads up. This was taken down by mistake. This isn't jewelry. This is a hoodie. My shop member's name is Amber Marie. And this was in our tags. Can I just remove her name? That way it doesn't get deactivated again by accident. And they said, your listing was deactivated under, you know, our policies on Amber Jewelry. See, you know, this section, blah, blah, blah. Our decision is final. We will not email you anymore on this topic. However, if you have a, you know, new question, you can submit a new email like request or something like that.
We have people talking about the arbitration clause. Somebody had said that they get thrown out in court all the time. They absolutely do. And a lot of people survive falling out of a plane without a parachute, but not all of them do. So it's not good to rely on something that is an absolute maybe that could just get you in more trouble than what it's worth. And somebody had said it's not allowed in the UK. It's not. It's only for US sellers.
Yeah.
To my understanding, at least the way that I read it, it only applied to US sellers. I don't think you're allowed to do stuff like that in the UK.
Yeah. It's
the EU.
And because so many people are desperate for phone support, people are falling for scam numbers. Yeah, I mean, it's the whole scam going around right now where you'll get like a thing, you know, someone will say, "Hey, I'm trying to buy your product, but Etsy's telling me I need to input your, you know, the seller's email address." I don't even know what they do with the email address. But that's a common scam.
Yeah.
But I think that people are like, they're desperate. They're desperate for the money. They're desperate for the sales. And when people are desperate, they're more likely to fall for scams.
I mean, honestly, if I had one request, it would just be to detail why people are being punished. Their AI system is very clearly out of control. I understand it takes time for machine learning to do what it needs to do. However, that could be running in the background, simulating what it's doing and being adjusted as it goes before it is pushed to a live environment. Every major media company in the world does something like that.
Or a human could be reviewing it right when it gets caught.
The thing is, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's part of it. They have machine learning. It doesn't have to be running on the front end. It doesn't have to be enforcing its tactics. If you're talking about teaching your machine learning in real time, that is not a good practice. And I don't think anybody in the tech world would agree that that's a good practice. It should be running in the background, not actively destroying people's lives, or at least not to the extent that it is doing. I think if we just had one explanation for why our shop with the exact rule that the shop or item has broke, that's it. That would be enough. Because then at the very least, if you start enforcing things that aren't true, then people can start a class action lawsuit against you. I think purposefully, it's another case of a company sticking everything that they possibly can in defense of themselves instead of supporting the people who want to hurt them in the beginning. The people want to come after them because their livelihoods are being freaking ruined. And they've made it literally impossible to do so instead of addressing the issues at hand. And that bugs me. That bugs me. It makes me not want to trust the platform. And I do trust the platform. I love Etsy. I want to love Etsy. I want to continue trusting the platform. I want to continue watching people make 6, potentially 7 figures from their house. I love that. That blows my mind. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you couldn't do stuff like that. If you wanted to be an entrepreneur, you had to go out and you had to have business knowledge and you had to have degrees and you had to know a bunch of people and you had to have a bunch of money to start up. And nowadays you can sit at home, you can draw up cool designs, put them on a shirt, get good at SEO and absolutely dominate a platform. And it should be that way. But people aren't going to want to continue coming to your platform if they're just going to get booted off of it halfway through. Like, oh, cool. Yeah, I'm making $100,000 a year. And then all of a sudden it's gone. That's not just like a little bit of money gone. Like switching from a life where you're making a livable wage to not making it. Say you've been running your business for, I don't know, 10 years and you haven't actually worked. You know how hard it is going to be to get employed at a real job when you have no currently active skills to apply to those jobs? Like it's bad. And obviously not all of you are making, 4 figures, 5 figures, 6 figures. But at the end of the day, the opportunity is there for you to do that. And everyone has mostly the same capabilities to do so, except now they don't because the system is completely uneven and punishes people at random. So it's not a fair system anymore. That's what I want. I want a fair system. And the only thing they have to do to accomplish that, barring everything else that we've pushed for, is to just start telling people why they've gotten banned or why their shops have gotten removed or why their items have gotten removed and give them an option to fix it. Give them an option to fix it, whether that's through you or through legal action against you because you've done something wrong.
Right. And there's also a huge issue with, we just had a ton of people tell us that they had their original art on Etsy. They found somebody copying their artwork. So they put in their copyright dispute. This person has stolen my artwork. This is my IP. But now the person that you filed the dispute against has the option to counterclaim. And Etsy has been favoring the counterclaims.
Yeah, it's probably because it's not being reviewed by a real person. That's the problem when a company gets this big. They don't have the capability because they're focused on keeping as much money as possible within the company instead of hiring more people. It's the same problem with every company in the world. It's the exact same, and politics aside, it's the exact same reason why fast food places and other restaurants and even some higher level jobs are only paying people the absolute minimum that they have to, because it's more about keeping their investors happy and keeping the people that are at the top of their business happy than it is keeping the people that are actually doing the work happy. And in this case, it's you guys. You guys are the ones doing the majority of the work. And then there's people at the bottom at Etsy who do the bare minimum. I mean, we really see that. The majority of people on Etsy that you get within customer support won't tell you anything.
Because they don't know.
And they either don't know or they're not allowed to. And if they don't know, that's one problem. That's an easy fix. If they're not allowed to, that's a big problem. And that's not an easy fix. So
there's 613 of you here. Today is August 25th. Use hashtag Keep Etsy Human on all social media platforms if you are unhappy with the direction of Etsy and the lack of customer support. Tag them at Etsy.
Do it with a positive note.
Yes, don't be mean to them.
Yeah, don't be mean to them. Don't bully them. Don't attack them. That's not what this is. Not everyone at Etsy is responsible for what's
especially the customer support guy who's looking at the social media,
Right. That's not his thing. Spin a positive message. If you don't have a positive message or you don't have anything to say, either just share the hashtag or you can go to her video that she put out last week
and today
and just share those. It's easy enough. We don't get any clout or anything from this. We're not making any money off of this. And I think it's the 8th of next month, we will be donating everything that, what was it, last week's live stream?
The live stream, the video, and we can do this video as well.
We can do this video as well. Everything that those videos have made up until the end of the month. We're doing it on the 8th because it can take several days for that money to actually roll over, and we won't know what we've made until probably like the 5th or the 6th. So on the 8th, when we're doing the live stream, we're going to donate to our charity
on
Meals on Wheels. We'll do it live here so you guys can watch it happen.
Yeah,
if it lets us. Well, if not, we'll figure out something else that we can do to donate the money. But
yeah. Kelly had asked, do you think Go Imagine will be the next Etsy?
No, I don't.
You can go into the eRank compare sites tool right now and compare them. I mean, Go Imagine, it's starting to gain a little bit of traction, but it's so small right now that we can't even get good keyword data for it because we've thought about supplying, adding their marketplace into our keyword data over at eRank. For anybody who's new here, Mark and I are managers over at eRank. And we can't even get enough keyword data to be able to supply, you guys with something, good that shoppers are actually searching for. So, could it happen? Yeah. And that's another comment that we keep getting on our videos is, oh, if you're so mad, why don't you build the next Etsy? I shouldn't have to build the next Etsy.
That's such an ignorant take. Like, do you understand the infrastructure that goes into something like building a website like Etsy? The amount of money it takes to build an empire like that. You think we'd really, like, even at our fame level, like, we're not very big. You really think that we would have the money to do something like that? You're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
Like, we can't. There's no way.
If you're not,
I'd love to.
If you're not happy, get out.
If there's like 20 programmers that want to work for free, I'll build a website to compete with Etsy, sure. But if not, then you're out of luck.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I there are tons of competitors to Etsy. Have you ever heard of them?
Nope.
Name some of them right now. Tell me all the Etsy competitors.
There's several, but are any of them anywhere near the amount of money that Etsy's making? And the answer to that is unequivocally no.
You could go over to Amazon Handmade and be treated like crap by customers who expect Amazon quality speeds and services. That's fine too. Some of you guys can do that. My experience on Amazon Handmade was not the best.
Somebody said one would need at least 8 figures to start and it's not even that. You have to do it without breaking any trademarks or anything like that Etsy or eBay or Amazon have done. So you need 5-10 lawyers who are proficient at this kind of thing that just permanently work for you day in and day out, studying everything that the programmers are do. So you're not breaking any trademark or machine learning laws or copyright laws or anything like that. Like it's an immense task, but that's not the subject at hand. That's not even an option.
Yeah. Amber said there was that fireplace, Artfire. It's gone. Artfire's gone.
He did.
Wow. Even the killer clowns from outer space are pissed. Where are they? I miss the killer clowns from outer space. Yes. Like the video, guys. We appreciate you all.
We appreciate the love. This little emoji thing has not stopped firing since we got here. We're at 650 people.
And thanks to everybody who's donated, guys. $356 to Meals on Wheels. They supply meals to homebound and disabled seniors 60 and over who can't leave their homes and have no way to get to the grocery store. My grandmother and my uncles, they were all living together in one home, my grandmother caring for my uncles, and Meals on Wheels supplied food to all of them because they could not leave. So they're awesome. Please consider donating. That money does not go to us. It goes directly to them. When we make our donation on the 8th, we'll be doing it directly through the charity in the chat so that hopefully you guys will be able to see it pop up and, the amount. Because there's always naysayers. You guys know how it is. It's like, if you try to do something good, everybody's like, oh. So, but thanks to everybody who has been supporting this movement through all social media platforms. I've been seeing you guys on LinkedIn. I've been seeing you guys on Twitter. I've been seeing you guys on Threads, Instagram, Facebook. Please keep sharing it. I think Instagram is a really good one because Etsy's very active there. But they're also pretty active over on Threads. LinkedIn is a great resource as well because that's where Etsy staff are. Etsy staff are looking at their posts. So when you're tagging Etsy, it's more likely that those posts are going to show to staff members.
Fill up their feed, bro. Don't overpost and get yourself temp banned on Facebook or Instagram, but fill up their feed. Make them notice.
Exactly.
Show them that there is a movement.
Tag me too if you want to tag me. Handmade Alphas. That way I can see it. I've been reading all of them.
Tag the Handmade Alphas one, not her personal one.
Oh yeah, don't tag the Starla one. That's my personal. But tag the Handmade Alphas one because I'm going through. I've been on my phone all day. We have been up since 5:30, and I have been on my phone all day, reading your guys' stories, and it's inspired me. It gave me fire this morning. I was really nervous about this. I woke up with this feeling in my gut, wondering is anybody actually going to participate? And when I got up on Instagram at 5:30 in the morning, there were already tons of posts where you guys had started, and it just, I don't know, it really pushed me to feel like maybe we will make a difference this time. Maybe this is the thing.
Somebody said, what's the ultimate call to action? To me, if I were to just sum it up into one word, it would be transparency. I want transparency. I want transparency for people whose shops have gotten shut down. I want transparency for products that get removed, seemingly for no reason, that are breaking no rules, like a regular shirt getting deactivated for drug paraphernalia. I want transparency on the reserves. People should know why you're holding their money, exactly why you're holding their money, because it is their money. I don't care if it goes into Etsy's platform. I understand that there are different layers when it comes to legalities, but that person either made the product, made the design, and had a company ship it for them, or they shipped a product to someone with their own blood, sweat, and tears. It is their money. Whether you're holding it or not doesn't matter. If you are holding it for any reason, it should be made fully aware why, and there should be a rule attached to it within your terms of use, terms of service, terms and conditions, whatever, saying exactly why you're allowed to do so. That's it. Transparency. That's all we want.
Right. And when, for example, some of you who sell digital are on reserves right now, Etsy says digital doesn't qualify reserves or for reserves because the customer gets the product immediately. It is a digital product. Etsy delivers that product. And Etsy says, well, you get placed on reserves for not putting in valid tracking. Digital products don't need valid tracking. They're digital. These sellers shouldn't be on reserves. Sellers who get a large influx of orders, who are used to shipping large influxes of orders, who have a history of shipping large influxes of orders, should not be placed on reserves. Sellers who have been on the platform for over 10 years, who have an entire system to their business. They have studio space that they have to pay rent for. They have employees that they have to pay because they have grown so much, suddenly are not able to access 30% of their money out of nowhere with no reason whatsoever.
30% is a big number.
And it was 75.
Especially when you're taking taxes out of the whole. You're taking the money and the fees out of the money that you're actually giving them, not out of the money that you're holding. That's such bullcrap. Absolute bullcrap. It is unacceptable. And everyone that works at Etsy knows that.
Exactly. And they said if Etsy needs extra money, raise the fees. They just did. And they told us that they were doing it to have more staff. Where's the staff? Where are they? Where did they go?
And I agree with Pam. They need to slow down. I think that's exactly it. The issue is when you get to big companies like this, and the military was a good example of that. There are people that are paid specifically to innovate, to find the next big thing that they need to do for their company in order to make it better. Their job isn't to make that thing more streamlined and consistent. They're just there to come up with the thing and then hand it off, and then hand it off, and then make a new thing and hand it off. It's an issue of too little oversight and too many people trying to revolutionize. The way that companies work efficiently is you come up and you have teams come up with things. And then once you implement those things, you wait for it to cause problems, or you put it in the back end if possible. Once those problems arise, you either remove it or you fix the thing that's causing the problem, temporarily remove it, put it on the back end. Once that thing works to a certain expectation, it doesn't have to be 100%, but once it works to a specific expectation, then you move on to the next thing. When you're a big company like Etsy, it's not one thing at a time. You can do 100 different things at a time. That's not a problem, as long as you're tracking what is happening. And very, very, very clearly, that's not happening. You're just implement. And it has been going since just before COVID. People were starting to complain about little things popping up that made absolutely no sense with the initial reserves that they were putting on people's shops.
Because a lot of new sellers joined the platform. And I understand Etsy grew at an exponential rate and they weren't able to.
Jumped. They took all that money they had and they jumped, and it was too far. Too far.
A Pinch of Cute said, this is a great movement. Do you think we'll need to worry about backlash from Etsy to our shops? If anybody gets backlash, it's probably going to be me.
Yeah, it'll probably be us.
I've been a little nervous about it.
Look out for the GoFundMe for the legal fees.
Don't say things like that.
It probably won't go that way.
I'm hoping
we're not saying anything damaging to Etsy's platform. If anything, we're saying words of encouragement.
Right. And you guys are hopefully doing the same. That's why we told you, be respectful. Tell Etsy how you feel. Tell Etsy that, that you miss what it used to be, or how these drop shippers are hurting your businesses, or how you're not able as a shopper to find products that you want to buy that are made by artisans because they're being drowned out by, products that you can find for cheap on Alibaba because somebody is, drop shipping them. Again, for everybody who joined us, we're not talking about print on demand when we refer to drop shippers, but we just had somebody a few minutes ago, like right before we started the stream on my video, make a comment that said, I've been an Etsy drop shipper for 3 months. I will sell your products at 40% lower prices, offer faster shipping. You can't compete with me. Find another platform to sell on. Old bags. But it's the mindset of these individuals.
Remember, freedom of speech is not all inclusive, and it's about the government, not private business. Private businesses can sue you over your words.
That is true because
it is against retribution from the government, and it is not an all-inclusive or inherent right, even if it's in the Constitution. Just remember that.
Yeah, that's not...
People get in trouble for saying stuff all the time.
That's not Mark's tinfoil hat conversation. Mark he was in the military for several years, and when it comes to our government, I stay out of all
I'm
things long.
I'm not all knowing, but I know when we're stepping over bounds, and we're really trying not to here. So feel free to take my advice free of charge, Etsy.
Yeah, why doesn't Etsy reply to customers within 24 hours like we're expected to do?
They could ban us.
Let's see, I do cringe at the poor quality POD. And I am against that. I am against the people who are just like, oh, I'm just going to slap this on, this thing that I didn't design or that that I bought on a different website, this design, and I'm slapping it on 6,000 different products. And now I'm going to do that with 10,000 different designs, each with 6,000 different products. And I'm just going to completely saturate like my entire shop with a bunch of things that I don't care about. Like, yeah, that I do definitely have a problem with that.
No, I really do too.
I
take exception to that.
Hashtag old bags. Let's make some t-shirts. Man, I have never felt older at the ripe old age of 31 years old. Oh, let's see. We got 255 likes. Come on, people, get off the couch. We care about you.
And donate.
And donate.
There's less than $1. We're at like 50 cents per person average on here if everybody were to donate $1.
Yeah, guys, $371 donated so far to Meals on Wheels. So please consider donating. If you can't donate, that's fine too. Use the hashtag, keep Etsy human today. Please, this is our day, 25th. If you were watching this via replay tomorrow, that's fine. Feel free to, post late.
Do it as long as you want to.
Right. Better late than never. But we really, really need to encourage Etsy to move back in the direction that they were founded on, the core values that made us love Etsy to begin with. The Etsy doesn't need to cater to people who are selling things that aren't handmade because that's not what they're all about, and it's not what shoppers want. If shoppers can find that exact same product for cheaper on eBay and Alibaba and Amazon, why the heck even come to Etsy? Etsy needs to go back to the way it used to be. And yeah, maybe that makes me an old fuddy-duddy who's an old bag, as that person said, but really, what's going to make Etsy different than anywhere else if Etsy, the one thing that made them unique, is no longer valued on the platform? We need to start with customer support. That's where it starts, because once we have a good customer support structure in place at Etsy, where sellers can get help, where listings being recorded or reported are acknowledged, where copyright infringement is actually looked into, and, people who have had their designs stolen from someone, there's a human who's able to serve as a mediator and be able to look at these cases and make good judgment calls. There are so many things that could be solved by having good support.
Somebody said mega make Etsy great again. I made that joke last week, but now's not the best time to be trying to push that joke.
Yeah, we thought about, our hashtag was going to be make Etsy great, and I was like,
people are going to start doing hashtag mega, and then it's going to get weird.
No, No politics.
No
No
politics.
politics.
We're trying to keep politics out of this.
Naughty watchers. Naughty. Anyway,
Not the best time to do that.
we don't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Anyway, going away from the political stuff. No politics in the chat. We really just need to keep an eye on this. I don't know what the future is going to look like. This is my effort, though. This is me trying. And I hope everybody also tries to put in their effort. Like, don't just watch this. If you're nodding in agreement and you agree with what we're saying, join us. Join us. Don't be afraid. Join us. Etsy isn't going to come shut your shop down for, speaking your mind. Be respectful. Be kind. Don't go cuss them out. But tell them what it is that you valued about Etsy in the first place and what you want to see in the future and what would make being an Etsy seller fill you with happiness and pride for the platform. We need to do this together, though, because if we all are just posting, a little here and a little there and a couple posts next week and a couple posts the week after, it's not going to have the impact of us all posting today. We've been going at this now for 2 weeks, gearing everyone up for today. So sometimes
if every single one of you, there were 676 of you here. If every single one of you were to just make a quick post, hashtag keep Etsy human
and tag Etsy,
you can tag us if you want to, it doesn't really matter. They would notice that. Almost 700 people is a lot. That's enough to even get in between the spam bots on their Twitter and their Instagram. And tag them everywhere. And it literally only takes you like 5 seconds. Grab the link to her video from last week or the one that she made today and just hashtag keep Etsy human. We want to get Etsy's attention.
Yeah. And if you want to amplify that more, ask your spouse to do it too. If you've got a spouse, I'm sure that they agree with you. Have your spouse do it.
Have your friends and family that care about Etsy.
Your business.
People that are partners.
Your customers. Ask them.
And you don't have to tag us. Again, I really want to point out that we're not doing this for attention, because it always never fails that people think that people are doing movements because they want to make something out of this. We're not going to do some surprise HAA launch for attention. Like, that's not what this is. You don't have to tag us if you don't want to. Please make Etsy aware that we want to keep Etsy human.
You don't even have to subscribe to my channel. Like, if you're coming from somebody else's channel and I just popped up in your recommended, and
tag whoever else that you follow. Who cares?
If you don't drive with me, that's totally fine. I don't have to be your coach. But
I don't like me either.
I
get it. She
you.
likes me.
I like you. They like you.
They don't like it when we interrupt each other. Well, they don't like it when I interrupt you. They don't mind when you interrupt me.
I know. Double standards.
Don't
interrupt me.
Sorry.
But guys, there are enough of us here right now to make an impact. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. You guys have your phones. Steal my images. Go over to my account. Feel free to screenshot my Keep Etsy Human.
They said, but we want to give you attention too. You deserve attention. Thing is, I don't want the attention. I just want to be able to log off and play Baldur's Gate and
he wants to play his games.
and be happy. No, I just want to be happy. I don't want to think about it anymore. This kind of crap, it bums us out reasonably, and it should.
I've carried a weight this week. And I don't say that to, boo-hoo, poor Starla. It's not that. I have thousands of sellers who email me, who message me on social media, who tag me in things. And they want to know, why was I deactivated? Why are my listings disappearing? Why? And I'm doing more Etsy support for these people than Etsy is. I'm one person, guys. I am doing way too much trying to help everybody. Etsy needs to step up. They need to step up. We love them. We want to support Etsy, but Etsy is going to go away if they don't start treating the people who make Etsy, if they don't start treating them well. And we, as the sellers, are the ones who have to try to push them in the right direction. We have to do this so that they start taking notice. And we have to do this so that hopefully our voices amplified together get the attention of more large people who can help. Maybe some more big YouTubers. There's a reason that these YouTubers are quiet right now. Everybody's afraid. They're afraid to talk ill of Etsy. And yeah, this is probably the worst thing I could ever do as a coach who does have an Etsy course. It's not open right now. It's not open till December. But me starting a campaign to try to get people to change Etsy, if nothing changes, how's that going to look when I open my program? This isn't like a money-making scheme. This is a way to try to help you guys to the best of our ability, because if something happens over at Etsy, I don't know what all of us are going to do. I really don't, because I don't have an alternative for you guys. I'm not working on another platform on the back end. I can't verify that sites like Go Imagine are going to ever reach the level that Etsy is.
And if they do, we'll be right here to teach you how to do it right.
Right. Like I don't.
This is what we do. We like teaching you guys for a living. I love these live streams. I love getting in here and do it. There's almost 700 people right now.
Yeah.
That's so good for my ego.
And I love you.
I'm just trying to keep the
happy.
Keep the happy.
Yeah,
for sure.
guys.
This stuff bums me the hell out.
It does, because I don't like uncertainty, and I know you guys don't either. When you see shop saying I didn't do anything wrong and my shop was deactivated and no one will help me and Etsy won't reply to me. I've got somebody in my inbox right now that I haven't replied to yet. They said that they have been waiting for 6 weeks to get an email back from Etsy about their shop being deactivated. It's the number one like income source for their family, and it has completely stopped. And now they're having to go get a job. They've already filed for unemployment and they're looking for a job. Like, that is sad because they don't know why. Again, you know, these are things.
Somebody just tagged Etsy with the old bags quote.
Oh God.
God, I love it. Etsy alternative ? That's not what this is about.
Yeah, we don't
Not
have
even a little bit. And no, we're not talking about digital. We're talking about, we want Etsy to be a platform that only has people selling things that they have created, whether that's digital, whether that's a design that they're putting on a POD shirt. I really don't care about POD. And if you have a problem with POD, unfortunately, those beans have already been spilled all over the stove. Good luck getting them back in the can. And things that are made by hand. I particularly don't have a problem with AI art as long as it's made ethically. I know most aren't. That's not my argument for it. But our main argument with this, for those of you who are just joining, there's somebody asking for it. We're just asking for transparency. We're asking for transparency for Etsy, for products that have been removed, shops that have been shut down, and payment reserves that are being put on shops with no reason. That's all we want, is just transparency. We want an answer. When I ask a question, the answer from a multi-million-dollar company should not be I don't know.
And it should not be I'm not going to answer you about this topic.
That's worse than I don't know, because at least I don't know, you're being honest, and I can be like, oh, well, screw you, you're stupid. I'll email support again and get a new person.
Right. The whole, we are not going to respond to your question. We are not going to talk about this anymore. Like, that makes you feel like a little kid. Like, we're not going to answer your question. We're not having this discussion. You can go to your room. You know, that's how it felt.
Why can't I play outside? Because I said so.
Right. I don't know. It's frustrating, and we have to be the ones to say something. We have to. And I understand it's really hard. It's really hard when, you know, when it feels like you're alone, when it feels like your voice isn't going to do anything, when you feel like you're the only one, but you're not the only one. There are more people watching this live stream than we have ever had before, and we need you guys.
Literally, this is our biggest turnout ever, and we love you guys for it. And we're going to be donating 100% of the money that it makes up until the end of the month. Yeah,
we're letting this go. We're just going to let it accumulate monetization. This video, the video that I posted 2 weeks ago, the one that says, you know, a call for change or whatever the thumbnail was, and the live stream that we did last week. We're going to pull together all that monetization. On the 8th, we'll have, you know, our actually monthly totals from YouTube. And on the 8th, during the live stream, we're going to donate it so you guys can watch us do it. So
also, live streams don't make, if you actually do want to help push more money to it and benefit us a little bit, live streams don't make very much money. Posted videos do. The video that she made last week will make
the week before last.
Was it the week before last?
Yes.
Week before last, the actual Keep Etsy Human video. Go over there and watch that video. Even if you don't actually watch it, just turn it on and let it run its course. Those will make the most money by the end of the month, and then we'll have more money to actually donate. It has had so many views that there's a good chance the majority of you have already seen it.
Jennifer Jennifer said, I don't use social media enough to have a following for this hashtag. You
Doesn't
don't
matter.
have to have a following. That's the great thing about a hashtag.
It will show up on Etsy.
Right. They web them all together. So if you click that hashtag, it'll show all the posts that use it.
And you're tagging them.
Yeah. You
also tag them. That is what's going to make a difference, because then they'll say so-and-so tagged you, so-and-so tagged you. And they'll get an influx of 600-700 people tagging them with the exact same hashtag.
Even if
we just want to get their attention. We want to show them that we're not ignoring this crap anymore.
Even if you have no followers, it'll still, they will get that notification. And you asked, is there an email I can send to Etsy or to an Etsy address that will be read by an actual human? That's why we're fighting, because
doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel
I'm
like.
not going to say that they don't, because I don't have any proof that that's what's happening, but sure as hell feels like it.
Right. I mean, you could email them, but I don't have an email address for you.
And remember, there's people arguing about products and AI, and that's not what this is about. That's a totally different fight. We can't ask for everything in one go. AI is not going to go anywhere until somebody big sues over it. That's the long and short of it. Somebody's going to have to sue. It's probably not going to be Etsy, but somebody is going to have to get in trouble for using AI or for their AI program. I would put my money on somebody like Midjourney getting in trouble. And nothing is going to happen. There's no point in focusing on something that isn't going to do anything. However, going and tagging Etsy and making them aware and requesting change could spiral into bigger and better people than us getting involved in this. You could get news stations involved with it. We could get media companies involved with it. Other billion-dollar corporations building competitors to Etsy that actually make a difference. Maybe Amazon is, I know people hate Amazon, but maybe Amazon would step up their handmade option if they saw that Etsy was going to go downhill. There's 1,000,001 positive things that can come out of this if the message is maintained. We want transparency. That's it. It's literally that simple. One word: transparency. That would be enough. All the other stuff can come later. We can talk about drop shippers and all that stuff's not going to stop anytime soon. And the amount of time it's going to take to enforce stuff on that kind of stuff, because you're talking about a human having to review listings and then find the listings on other websites and then deactivate those shops. You don't want an AI handling that, because then everybody's just going to start getting shut down. So one thing at a time. Let's start with transparency. Transparency is the answer to 99% of the problems that are on here. You don't even have to get rid of shop reserves if you have a legitimate reason to be holding that money.
Right. Especially when they say you're not going to be put on or on payment reserves because you're a digital seller. Your customer receives their product immediately.
But it is happening.
But it's happening. Right. Etsy says that you don't qualify to be put on shop or on payment reserves, but tons of digital sellers are. And then they message Etsy and say, why? And Etsy says, we don't know. That's not acceptable.
It's an unacceptable answer. I'm not happy with that answer. Literally no one receives that email and says, ooh, goody. Screw me. I hate me. Like that's not acceptable.
Yeah. I don't want to pay for support if I have a shop.
We were referring specifically to phone support. I don't think normal customer support should, but I think if we wanted phone support across the board, I think it wouldn't be unreasonable to ask for a small fee for that.
Right.
But that's a totally separate, not even on the board thing for Etsy. I don't want to pay for customer support, but if you guys want phone support for literally millions of people, I don't think it's an unreasonable ask. There's already other websites that do that, and it works.
We're not saying you pay for phone support. What my idea was that everybody gets a universal, Etsy chat system or ability to email Etsy and get
I talked about it.
Right. I know, but they get a response within like 24 hours. And then if you are one of the Etsy Plus subscribers, then maybe you also get a bonus option to call them. I think that, that's not to start, just to start so that we have something. Because right now we have nothing. It would be nice to have something, right? To start with everybody having the option to do, chat, and then Etsy Plus people, maybe you pay for your Etsy Plus subscription, you get the bonus of having the phone support added on to that plan because, maybe they have some other perks. Etsy Plus, you get a couple different things like your carousel banner, featured listings, you get ad credit. But that's just an idea. I'm not saying that that's like what we're fighting for is
no, definitely not.
Support.
What we're fighting for is transparency. At the end of the day, transparency is the word of the day.
Right. Not everybody's going to agree with like the individual ideas that we have, but the general idea that we're all fighting for is transparency, support, and help when we need it. Help when we need it, because Etsy sellers, we're feeling very much like there is no help for us. Like it's pointless. There's no reason to even ask for help or ask for clarification, because we're not going to get it.
Because, I mean, very clearly, if you're shutting a shop down, then there's a reason to shut that shop down, right? Your system, for some reason, whether it was by a report or something else, took a listing and said, this is unacceptable, and it shut the shop down. So if it's an automated system doing that, that automated system has identified an issue, which means that that automated system could then take that identified issue and message the seller about it. And don't tell me that's not possible, because there are way more simple websites that have things like that already. So I think people should be notified about the exact rule that was broken on the exact listing for the exact thing. And anything less than that is unacceptable. It's not that hard. It's already built into your system. You just have to take whatever is reporting to the system to shut the listing or the shop down, have it draft an email or an auto response, which I'm sure your ridiculously overcomplicated system is capable of doing. Voila, that easy. This is the listing that got copyright stricken. And that way, if it's not, they have a legal precedent against you for false copyright accusations, or the person that reported their copyright to begin with. They can then go and sue the person that came after them for getting their business shut down, which is their right as a human being. I made all of my stuff by hand. Huh?
Oh, I said it got quiet.
I made all of my stuff by hand. They asked for photos of my supplies, workspace, and sewing instructions for my products.
I mean,
I don't think that's an unreasonable ask. But you did due diligence. I think that's a fair ask.
If you're making your products, I mean, I think that's odd. I've never heard of Etsy doing that. Has anybody been asked by Etsy to send photos of their workspace to prove that it's handmade? I mean, to be perfectly honest, I think that there are lots of sellers that, would disappear if Etsy said, hey, we need to see proof that you make these by hand. But I can understand it being frustrating if you're like, the audacity of you for asking, but I can understand why they would. I'm wondering if anybody else has had that experience, because I've never heard it.
And if you want people breaking less rules, things happen. Sometimes people step on toes. Can't expect everybody to read through your entire terms of service. So I recommend that you try. I think if you told people what rules they broke, which a lot of you probably that have had just listings removed without getting your shop shut down, probably were breaking a rule or you did something. Not all of you, but some of you. And if that were the case, if they were to tell you what rule you broke on what listing that you broke and why, then you could correct that behavior and make sure it doesn't happen again, instead of relisting a product you think was wrongfully taken down and then getting your shop banned because they don't tell you the reason why they took that product down. They could spread awareness, say, oh, I got this taken down. And then whatever Facebook communities or in the Etsy forums where there's all kind of misinformation, people could be sharing in there. Yeah, I had a listing taken down for this exact reason. This is why your product got taken down. And then the overall amount of information becomes more clear. It makes us less money, but it makes the whole image more clear, and it makes it a much more friendly and conducive environment to selling handmade products with way less effort.
Right. It's like, for example, a while back, if you created Mickey Mouse products, you could put them in all the Etsy groups and nobody said anything. Well, now if somebody posts their shop in an Etsy group and says, look at my shop, can anybody tell me how my shop looks? And you've got Mickey Mouse products, everybody's going to comment and say, oh, you need to get those out of there. You cannot sell those things. You're going to get in trouble. You need to, that's not what Etsy's for. Get those out of your shop. You're going to get sued. Imagine if all good Etsy information was that readily available. Now, obviously, like he said, people look for that information on our channel. They come to our YouTube channel, watch our videos, and yeah, we make money because we've got a monetized channel, and it's great for us. It's great when, we get to answer a question that people have, but it shouldn't be like that. I mean, sometimes you guys want to learn from another person. I get that. Sometimes it's better to have me explain it to you than try to decipher Etsy's articles, which that's why I've got like my free Etsy SEO toolbox. That's literally what that is. The first course, there's a mini course in that, basically talks about Etsy's article, how Etsy search works. It is that article broken down with cartoons and animations. And it's really fun and it's memorable and it helps you guys to understand something that, you know, if normally you read Etsy's article and it gives you a headache, my little cartoon makes a lot more sense. By the way, I've got like all that free stuff down below if you're new here. There's nothing for sale and we don't sell anything right now, not till December. But no, that's not true. We got the boot camp in September.
We have the boot camp in September, yeah.
Yeah, but that's mostly our students that are getting that. But there's tons of free stuff down there. And, you know, we have that free stuff and we have these free resources because sometimes you guys like to hear how we explain it. Maybe how Etsy explains it isn't clear to you, or maybe you need to hear it in a lot of different ways. And that's fine, but we shouldn't be Etsy support. And sometimes I feel like we are. Sometimes I feel like we are doing more Etsy support than Etsy is.
Magic had said AI is involved in the weird takedowns. Yeah, we had discussed that, but the thing is,
Josh Silverman
AI
said so.
AI shouldn't just randomly implement things. There's likely a set of criteria that it follows as its baseline. And not all that criteria is probably capable of being released to the public. There are people who are under NDA with clearances within the company and that kind of thing. However, those criteria have to point to a rule that is available for everyone to see. And it's got to be based off of their terms of use and all of the different rule books that they have publicly available for selling on their website. If they're pointing to something else that's not on there, you can't enforce a rule that no one knows is a rule. So if the AI is using a set of criteria that's derived from a set of rules, then that AI is then identifying the rule down to the letter of what is being broken, which means that their system should be reporting, at least even if they just put a mark on the back end of your shop that customer support can look at, it's that easy. There is a criteria that is being followed. You can't tell me that it's not. There is a set of rules that computers rely on. AI is not some all-intelligent thing that makes up things as it goes. It has a set of criteria, which means that when it shuts a shop down, one of the things on that list is being broken. And if you can't tell us what that specific thing is, then you can tell us the thing that it's derived from. That way people can know how to either correct their mistakes or educate other people to not make those mistakes again.
Or dispute it if it's wrong.
Or dispute it if it's wrong, especially if it's something like a copyright takedown, because we know that Etsy doesn't enforce copyright on behalf of the copyright holder. So if my product gets taken down for a copyright issue and I'm not notified, which for the most part, I'm pretty sure they're pretty good about copyright notifications, but I should be able to know who is putting out that copyright claim against myself. For the most part, I think they do, but...
Except for when you get... You know, when someone steals your work and then they strike you as the original artist who created the work.
And now I will say when it comes to that, unfortunately, that's on you to get legal representation.
That is true.
That's a frequent thing, and that's not Etsy specific.
But Etsy
and someone had said that they were actually involved in that.
Etsy can serve as a mediator as well.
I was expecting a little more emphasis on factory standards and favors for search results status. I do care about the customer service, but we were giving those points of the. But are we giving up on those points on the video last week? No.
Wait, what was it?
Right here.
On factory standards and favors search. Yeah, that's part of it. This whole thing. There are so many things that we're tackling. So many. But
it's got to start from the ground up. We're not abandoning any points. The easiest point is transparency, because all that takes is connecting some dots on the back end. And it really is that simple.
Right. The factory standards and expecting us to perform, in line with Amazon level fulfillment and the star seller requirements, responding to your customers within 24 hours, even on holidays and weekends, which, that other YouTube channel, they were like, that's an unreasonable ask. Everybody's holidays and weekends are different. Yeah, but we all have, for the most part, Christmas is, that we all know when that is, right? I mean, everybody's geographical location is logged by Etsy. Etsy should be able to identify when our weekends are. They know where we live. These are...
It's not that hard. Your IP address is based on your location.
Right.
So
right. It's...
There are specific designators within... I'm not gonna get in with that. But say it's... Charlie had said, so this campaign isn't about mass-produced stuff on Etsy. And someone else had said, this is about whatever you want it to be about. What we want is a fair platform to sell on. In my opinion... transparency is the way that we get there.
There's a whole video, guys. There's a whole it's 5 minutes long, and it tackles
every point.
All if you want all the points, because I'm not going to sit here and just repeatedly recite all the points for an hour and a half, because I think we've already done that. There is a 5-minute video on my channel right now that you can go watch that talks about all the points. And if there are additional points, for example, in that video, I failed to acknowledge that, for example, offsite ads, if you at one point made over $10,000 in your Etsy shop, even if you don't make $10,000 a year anymore, you are still stuck with offsite ads. And that's crap. And I failed to acknowledge that in the video. But this is where you guys come in. I can't be the one to say, here's a laundry list, Etsy. Here are 6,000 problems we have. That's not going to do anything. What I need you guys to do in the purpose of this movement is for all of these crap issues that Etsy has placed on us over the last few years that impact your business, you guys are responsible for using the hashtag. We have given you the avenue to do it. You've got to be the ones to get on social media and say, hey, Etsy, we are struggling right now. Our shop is struggling. Here's why. And you have to be able to kind of add to our hive mind, right? I can't think of every single specific instance that has made everybody's shops not do well. I would have to sit for hours going through every single comment I've ever received. And then I have to be able to memorize them all and recite them here live to you. That's a big ask of me. What I need you guys to do is get in there, get onto these social media platforms and use this hashtag and tell your unique stories. That's what matters. That's what's going to allow your story to be heard, your concern, your voice, the things that are upsetting you. You guys have to be the ones to do that. I can't do it for you. What I've done is create a way for you to do it, a way for us to all do it together today, the 25th. Today is the day that we're doing it. But you guys have to be the ones that actually contribute your stories and your voices. Because I don't know about you, but I can't remember everything I just said. I can't remember all of the issues that hit my inbox.
How dare you?
I know. But as he said, the foundation of all of the things that we're talking about, all of the issues, whether it be mass-produced items, whether it be the automation systems that are taking down listings, whether it be lack of customer support, whether it be what was the one that we were just talking about? I can't even remember. Etsy straying from handmade. See, I can't.
I'm burnt.
Regardless, these all lay on a foundation that starts with transparency and more Etsy staff and less bots making decisions on behalf of Etsy, and less Etsy staff members saying, we don't know the answer to that and we're not responding to your questions anymore. What we need is transparency to know what are the rules, what do we need to do, how are you, Etsy, enforcing these rules? I think that right now my role is done. I've done everything that I can do. I'm going to keep, posting. I'm going to keep fighting with you guys, but I've created the avenue.
It's up to you guys to get it where it needs to go.
And tag me when you do. I want to hear your stories. I want to be aware. I want to know what's bothering you. I want to know, how your business has struggled and suffered due to some of these changes. I need to know because it educates me. I don't know all of your stories, but you can help to educate me about them by tagging me in your posts. When you tag Etsy and you use the hashtag, tag me too. I'm Handmade Alphas on Instagram and on all other social media platforms, Handmade Alphas. And that's all I did all morning. Since 5:30 this morning, I have been reading your posts. And when we get done, we're probably going to go to lunch. And I'm going to sit there eating lunch, reading your posts some more and reading them to Mark and, sharing anything that's unique. I've been trying to share unique stories, but I'm tired. I'm tired. I've been doing this for 2 weeks and, now it's your turn. I've laid the foundation, but you guys have to use your voices too, because I can't be the loudest one in the room anymore. I am right now, but
pretty loud.
I am. I'm very loud. But I even told Mark, I said, after this, I'm going to take a break on, for the weekend. I'm going to try to detox on social media, because with the good has come a lot of negativity and people telling me that I haven't done this the right way, or I haven't done it the way that they would have done it. And anybody who says I haven't done it the right way,
do it your way then. We don't care. We just want something to change.
This isn't my movement. It's your movement too. So if I've done it wrong, you do it right, because I can't do it all. I can't do everything.
Our voice on social media is just as powerful as everybody else's. It's one voice.
Exactly.
We can't do anything. It's not like we have somebody we know at Etsy with an email address.
Right.
Though, Etsy, if you're there, feel free to email us at literally any of our emails.
Etsy.
Starla at handmadealphaacademy.com.
Etsy, guys, I love you. And
we want to continue.
This is year 11 for me selling on Etsy with several different shops, now building another brand new one from the ground up. I love Etsy. I love the community. I love the idea that anybody can, from their dining room table, build a 6-figure business. That is amazing. There is nowhere else that you can do that. That is something so beautiful, that someone can sit and craft a little knickknack or a little, handbag, or even a digital design or a card, and people will find it and buy it. That's so amazing. And I'm so sad, because our daughter, who is 11 years old, now, hops on Etsy and looks for things with her allowance money. And I'm having to teach her how to reverse image search things to make sure she's not getting scammed. And I tell her about how Etsy used to be, but how now she has to be super careful. And I've identified multiple scams that she's almost, purchased, or not scams, but drop shipped items that are cheaper on Amazon. And it's sad, and it makes me sad. And it's sad that we can't, for example, I told you guys a couple weeks ago, we're looking for a new engagement ring for me, and we want to support a handmade artist.
But literally afraid to order anything.
I know exactly what I want, but I can't find it, because every time I think I've found somebody who makes them by hand,
something you can buy somewhere else for cheaper,
we reverse image search it and it's cheaper somewhere else. And then, I'm not supporting my whole thing is Etsy, and I want to support somebody who made it by hand.
Support small sellers.
And it's frustrating, and I'm tired. And
I'm so very tired.
I'm tired. I'm exhausted mentally. And I really appreciate you guys for hanging out. And I don't want you to think that this is all we've become. This is the last one.
No, starting next week, we're back to normalcy, and we're not talking about it anymore.
Right. And guys, my video on Tuesday, it was fantastic. It was a Christmas trends video. I covered tons of Christmas trends. Now, the reason that I published that video when I did is because my trends video are my most viral videos. They're the most watched. And I knew if I released my very best content, like awesome early Christmas trends that you guys can go use to develop products right now, I knew if I created that video, a lot of people would see it. And at the end of that video, I included the call to action for today, the Keep Etsy Human hashtag. And I was very strategic when I planned to release that video as early as I did, because I knew it would blow up immediately. And I used that as an opportunity. So definitely go watch that video. I found some epic trends. I even found one keyword. I'm not going to say it here, because obviously I want you guys to go see the video, because that helps me. But
we do got to eat.
We do got to eat. That video has one keyword in it that, like, it's a new keyword. It's brand new. It's a brand new niche.
No one's ever said this word before.
It's a new word. No one's ever said it before. And the searches are 00000. So go watch that video. It's a really great one, and it's not Christmas themed. The keyword isn't. So you could make, something not Christmas related. But either way, this upcoming Tuesday, we're back to normal content. This upcoming Tuesday, I'm doing a video on illegal things that Etsy sellers do accidentally, not even realizing it. Like ways that Etsy sellers break the law without realizing that they've broken the law.
It's pretty prolific. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of really great points that I haven't covered in past videos. I know a lot of my videos are kind of me reiterating a lot of the same points, but this one's new. So there's a couple points that I've covered on in the past, but for the most part, a lot of the things are new. So it's going to be a good one. And then this upcoming Friday's, Friday Bean in a week from now, I don't know what the heck we're going to talk about, but it'll be something educational and fun.
Yeah.
And if we've got an update on the movement, if we hear anything from any more journalists, we've had lots of journalists contact us. I will give you guys updates on that. I will let you know if we've made any progress. And if you guys know any journalists, anybody in the news who might
somebody with a bigger audience than us.
Yeah,
people smaller than us don't really have a voice that's going to help.
If you know somebody who wants to cover our story, I'm happy to do interviews. Send them to my email address, starla@handmadealphaacademy.com.
I'll type it in the chat here so you guys don't have to type out that ridiculously long email.
Yeah, save that email address or reply to any of the emails that I've sent you if you're on my email list.
I swear someday we'll buy HAA.com. I just don't have 600 grand to drop on a domain right now.
It's so expensive.
Expensive.
We want HAA.com so bad. That's what we want for Christmas, Santa Claus, HAA.com.
Any millionaires watching?
Yeah, we'll take.
I mean, not millionaires, probably billionaires. 600 grand's a lot for a millionaire too.
That's true. But guys, we appreciate you. We appreciate the fight, and we appreciate everything you've done. And we are watching. We're watching. I hope Etsy's watching all day. I want to see more. If you're watching the replay of this, get in on it. If you're watching this a day later, if it's the 26th or the 27th or the 28th, whatever, join in, really, because even if you're late, it's better late than never. Use the hashtag, tag Etsy. Feel free to tag me, Handmade Alphas, all social media platforms. Feel free to take my images that I've posted if you want to use my images from my Instagram, if you want to reshare my videos, if you want to screen record my videos and post them yourself or download them, they're on TikTok, go ahead. I am not opposed to you guys taking the videos about the movement and resharing them. But I'm hoping that this does something and that it gets the attention of someone who matters, whether it be someone at Etsy or major news and media. Because when the BBC article came out a couple of weeks ago, Etsy immediately started revising their payment reserve system, and they didn't get rid of it, but it went from 75% to 30%, and that's
only enforcing rules in one part of the world is kind of bull crap. Taking everything and writing the legal line as close as you physically can, that's not the way to do it. You should be far away from legal guidelines. You should be on the side of your customers, and you should be on the side of your sellers. You should be treating your sellers like your employees, and you're not.
Maybe talk about trending items to put PODs on besides a hoodie or a mug. That's not the type of content that I cover. There's plenty of POD channels out there. I throw in POD content, but when I talk about trends, they're universal. They're universal trends that you could do anything with. You could make jewelry based on the trends. You could do a POD product based on the trends. I try to cover content that is universal to most sellers. Every once in a while, I'll throw in a POD video because I do some things with Printify. But for the most part, I try to keep things educational for everybody. I want everybody who sells on Etsy to be able to use the content. And a lot of you don't even sell on Etsy. I've got people who don't sell on Etsy, but they use my content to sell on their website. And that's cool too. But
Lorna, you're asking for, she just told you, just share the hashtag. And if you don't have a way to come up with a message yourself, just share one of our prior videos having to do with it. The video that she made would have been
posted on the
15th. The video that was posted on the 15th.
Or no, the 8th, I thought. Or was it? What's
this is
today?
This week. This is last week.
Oh yeah, the 15th. Yeah. There was a video on the 15th you can share on
Etsy human
here on this YouTube channel. Or if you go to my Instagram account, at Handmade Alphas, there is an Instagram reel. It's one of the very, first videos on my feed. I just posted it this morning. And it is my message to Etsy. And it's posted here on this YouTube channel as well. So, yeah.
Don't apologize. I no longer follow coaches that never discuss anything that's wrong with Etsy. So, leave me alone. I wouldn't necessarily say you should do that. It's not anyone's responsibility, and you have to understand what the actual legal ramifications for a movement like this can be. I doubt it will. Hopefully Etsy, retaliating would be the worst possible move Etsy could make in a situation like this.
Yeah, because we're not doing things to hurt Etsy.
No, we want to stay on Etsy. We could be pushing people to other platforms. We could be taking our audience of 60,000 people and trying to move them to their own websites, but that's not what we're doing. We're encouraging Etsy to do the right thing, and that's all we want. And if anybody at Etsy's interested in an interview or something, and you're willing to meet on our grounds, not yours, under our circumstances and our rules, we can interview somebody. We can have you here on a live stream so you can cut out whenever you want to.
Yeah.
That'd be cool for something like that.
I would love to. I would love to talk to somebody at Etsy. I would love to have a discussion.
Not a PR rep, somebody that makes the rules.
Yeah. I would love to have that discussion and understand more and I need to know what to tell people. That's what I would like, is to know what Etsy, when people come to me and say, this has happened to me and I don't know what to do. Etsy shut down my shop for no reason and I don't know what to do. I'd like to know what to tell them. What am I supposed to say? What's my role in this? And it would be nice to talk to somebody real who could help me figure that out. But guys, it is 1:30. I've still got a YouTube video to record for this Tuesday because I do that right after the bean and my voice is shot.
We're going to go eat, get this movement going. We are handing it off to you. That is your guys's, it's your baby now.
It is.
Do with it what you will.
Take the hashtag post today. There are still, again, 551 of you is enough to shake like Etsy. It is enough to...
They would notice.
They would notice if you all posted.
And it takes you less than a minute.
Yeah. And you can take mine word for word. You can take my images. You don't even need to make anything if you don't want to. But join us, please. Please join us. Please help us. Because we're all trying to achieve the same thing. And if we can all, sing the same song together, our voices are going to be amplified and hopefully someone hears it. But we
love you guys.
We appreciate you.
How do I actually tag Etsy on Facebook? At Etsy.
Yeah, @Etsy.
That's it. It should have the ability for you to click. It'll have like a little drop down. You can click or tap on them, and that's pretty much it. What's for lunch, Starla?
Aw, ew.
No.
Wait, I thought that was like a cute thing, and then it got dirty real fast. I don't know. Tacos?
Tacos. I don't know. We love you guys. We'll see you on Tuesday with a less.
Well, it is about breaking the law, so it is going to be.
Yeah, but it's your guys' fault, not Etsy's fault.
Right. It's things that Etsy sellers do that break the law.
You know what you did. You know what you did.
But we love you guys. Have a great weekend. Keep up the volume. I will be on social media probably all freaking day, keeping up with you guys, trying to read your stories. I'll share your posts. Handmade alphas, if you want to tag me. I love you. I'm doing this for you. I'm going through all the troll comments for you. I'm dealing with all the buttheads for you. And I will keep fighting for you. But now is the time when you guys have to do some of the fighting as well. So have a fantastic weekend. We care about you.
And we're going to wave for a minute.
Make your own kind of music.
Your own kind of